Hi, welcome to the small shed. This week I'm fitting a decoder into a friend's railway locomotive. See you in a minute. Now there's a bit more to it than this, but yeah, let's start off just fitting the decoder, and while you see me doing that, it's a fairly simple operation, but I just want to explain a bit about what these things do and what's changed in the last 10 or 15 years in model railway electronics, if you like. So let's just have a look and see what I'm up to. So this is a little bit more than just fitting a decoder. It's a story of how clubs and societies like this are such a benefit to everybody concerned. This was a club room that we had to move into in 2005-ish. Our previous premises were being closed down and used for storage for other things, and we had a very short time period in which to move, and we were offered a barn in the middle of a farm in Nightcote, just by Gaydon in Warwickshire, and it was literally just an old potato shed. It was 8-foot high concrete walls, and then asbestos cladding over the roof and walls, and a concrete floor. And throughout the winter of 2005, the club members all came in at weekends and at evenings and built walls. We dry lined the existing walls and filled it full of insulation, put the suspended ceiling in, floored it out, electrics, plumbing, did the whole lot through that winter, and then opened it, I think it was in the April 2006. And it was a huge effort, but it brought everybody together, and there was a great sense of camaraderie when it was finished. And that's the sort of thing that carries through with any of these clubs and societies, like Men in Sheds, like this, like Scout organisations, like, to some extent, even like YouTube and the community that's built up around that, Facebook groups of like-minded individuals. This locomotive that I'm working on was bought by one of our club members as a complete wreck, and sadly over the last couple of years he's suffered health deterioration to the extent that he was pretty much unable to do anything with it. And one of the club members in another club that he goes to, that we also have contacts with and know the people concerned, spent an awful lot of time taking it to bits, fitting a new motor and gearbox, painting it, lining it up and doing all the transfers and things. And that shows the sort of respect that the members have for each other, that they'll all help out one another whenever there's a problem. And he'd lost to some extent the use of his hands, certainly his dexterity was going, and he asked if I'd fit this decoder for him, which again, for the sake of an hour or so at night, is not a great thing to ask. For someone that had served the club well over the years that he was fit and active. So that was the point of doing it, really, and to some extent the point of the video. It's also worth touching on the electronics that are involved nowadays with these things. It is no longer just a little 12-volt controller that you attach to the track. We're now using fairly complex electronic systems, some of which are derived from the stuff that you get in the automotive industry now in your car, that will turn the lights on when it gets dark and automatically do all sorts of things for you and control and talk to all of the parts of the car. It knows when a side light bulb is out, even if it's not working. It knows when your tyres are going flat, all sorts of things like that. And we've pretty much adapted that CAN bus system into the model electronics world and use it to control trains, signals, the whole thing, the layout as a whole indeed. And the little decoder that I'm fitting in the engine, there's 2 or 3 sorts. You can get them that will just control the motor itself, and you can get them that control all of the sound and functions that you can get from that. They pre-record sound from other locomotives and then synthesize and adapt it so that it works in accordance with the speed of the locomotive, and you can sound whistles and all sorts of things like that. So it's fairly complex stuff, and it's no longer, as I say, just a pair of wires connected to the track from a controller. But it also, as I say, you can encompass a whole load of other controls, such that I've got a mate's layout down in the southwest that he can literally walk away from, and the thing will run itself for hours on end, and we can sit in the back garden watching the trains go by and have a gin and tonic. So the development has been quite significant over the last few years on that. So it took about probably, I don't know, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to do this, take it apart. There's only about 4 or 5 wire connections involved in it, and once that was done I just soldered it, heat shrunk all the joints, popped the body back on, and we just gave it a run to see how it would perform. Now, I said this was about a bit more than just fitting a decoder, and it's about remembrance. Sadly, about a month ago, Peter, the guy that had the railway locomotive that I fitted the decoder to, passed away, and this is in some way a bit of a remembrance for him. It's also worth remembering, tomorrow is Remembrance Sunday, Monday is the 11th of November, so I thought it was also a chance to get down the medals that I put in a frame a year ago, give them a quick polish, and just remember all those that have died over the years in wars, to give us the freedom to do whatever we like pretty much in this world. So thanks to all those, thanks to all the servicemen. Yeah, thank you all. See you all next week. We'll try and get something different done. See you then. Bye.